I think it's time for the good life. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the good life. Tonight, I'm going to be doing something I haven't done in a long time. I'm actually going to be working with an actual training seminar to go over all the key points in the 3 money trees, the VIP club card, and of course, the thing that everybody's heard just a little bit about, which is the dream destination dollars and how that's going to work. So this is going to be a little bit different. I think it'll be enjoyable. We are taping this, so we're hoping we can start using some of this for tutorials later on. And I just, again, I want everybody to sit back, enjoy. We're going to be actually taking questions from everybody out in the field. So John's sitting here at my side. So as I go through this, I'm going to finish each section. And as I complete that section, I'm going to kind of open it up to Q&A here with John and take some questions and make sure that we explain each part so that everybody understands what they have in front of them. Because when you start seeing some of these numbers and what's getting ready to happen here, it gets pretty exciting. So with that, let's kind of jump in here. John, I need to what? Just make this, minimize this, hit share screen down here, I believe. Correct. I'm a little rusty, guys. I haven't done this in a while. Okay, go for this thing here. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, all right. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to take every component of the compensation plan tonight and start to share it with you. So let's begin with the first one, which has to do with the quick pay tree. This is the simplest one of all, and it's very easy for everybody to really kind of grasp and understand. But again, after I complete this one little segment, we will open up a few questions if anybody has any. So the way the quick pay tree works is very, very simple. All that happens is that as you set up IBOs, and it doesn't matter whether they're IBO teams or they're individuals that you set up, as you set those up, if you are a platinum member, on every one that you personally enroll, you make $75. So in this example, obviously, if you set up 5, that would be $375. Now remember, it does make a difference whether you're a silver, gold, or platinum as to how many tiers deeper that you're paid. But in the example we're talking about here tonight, we're just assuming that you're at platinum level, and so therefore you're going to get paid on all 3 tiers. Now, if you were just at silver, this is all you get paid on. It's just this first tier, tier 1. So let's take a look at the next row. And again, this is based on an example of saying that you had 5 IBOs that each got 5 IBOs. So now, obviously, you can see how many you have on your second tier. You've got a total of 25. Again, we're just assuming the max. Everybody's at platinum. If you were at silver, for example, you'd only get on 1 tier. If you're at gold, you get 2 tiers. Now, again, you're going to see the third tier in a second. So what have we got? We got 5, we get 5. So that's 25 IBO platinum members on your second tier times $50 per, $1,250. So that'd be the second tier. Again, pretty simple. It's just based on who enrolls who through 3 tiers. So very, very simple concept here, obviously. Tier 3, we're using the exact same example, obviously, of 5 who get 5. So it's saying that everybody on your tier 2, each one of those 5, every one of that you've got there, which is 25, each get 5, so it's 125. Now, the difference is, obviously, on tier 3 is you're now making $25 on all those. That's if you're platinum. Now, when you look at the screen in full, you can see that, if you were a platinum and this happened through 3 tiers, the quick pay tree would pay you $47.50. Now, obviously, if you were just silver, you would just be earning $375 on all these people. If you were gold, you'd be earning $12.50. And obviously, at platinum, it's the full amount. So that's really the quick pay tree. That's the simplest one of all. And remember, what's kind of cool about when we start talking about the good life and start talking to people, you can say, look, we have 3 money trees. It's kind of different. We have 3 money trees. The first one we call a quick pay tree. So is there any questions on this, John? This one's so simple. Probably not. I think everybody knows that one pretty well, right? Okay, good. So we can move to the ones that I'm sure you're going to have some questions about. So now let's jump ahead and let's take a look at, of course, the 2x20 shared social network. And this is the one that is based on all your IBOs and IBO teams that you set up. As you can see in this example, and sometimes we've never really shown it this way, because sometimes it's kind of hard to visualize when you talk about 2x20, but I mean, that means if you look at this example, you can see it's 2, 4, 8. That's the number of people would fill in each one of these pay lines. You get 20 pay lines. Obviously, if you go all the way down to the bottom, you can see how many people would be on your 20th pay line. It's over 1 million, which is a total of over 2 million. Now, please bear in mind the dots you're seeing there don't represent over 2 million. We couldn't get that many dots in the picture, but it gives you an idea of what's actually happening here. So when you look at this, you can see that, for example, let's say you're talking about pay line 4, where you've got 16 IBOs sitting there, and what you're earning 5%, okay, on all sales that are created by that IBO and all of its, each IBO's customer members. Now, this is where this thing gets pretty crazy, because remember, with this program, we've got like 2,000 IBOs right now because we just got started, right, guys? 2,000 IBOs. We've got over 400,000 VIP club cards now being circulated in the field. And I'm going to show you some examples in just a little bit of what that's going to mean to you in dollars and cents, because I use a simple example right here. I mean, this is amazing. You could literally have somebody on your 20th pay line. Let's go all the way down to your 20th pay line, right? And that person has a business that generates, let's say he's got a company. This is not far-fetched because this is already happening, but let's say you had a business down there on the 20th pay line by one of your IBOs. Now, remember, on that 20th pay line, you got literally possibly a maximum of 1 million IBOs all the way across. We're talking about one IBO on that 20th pay line has a business that sold 100,000 cards. And when I used to think, oh, that's a lot, that's a big number. But when you think about what's happening out there, we've got businesses that are ordering 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, and actually we're going to have some businesses after the first year they're going to be ordering over 1 million cards. But let's be conservative. 100,000 cards, one IBO out of your 1 million on your 20th pay line has 100,000 cards that get sent out and used. Do you realize from that one sale from one IBO of that business, it will generate back to you? This is amazing. I ran the numbers myself. Sometimes I have to redo them. Is this right? It's over $100,000. So everybody on those 20 pay lines up would actually be earning straight, go up one after another, all the way back up to you, would be earning $100,000 from that one business on somebody on your 20th pay line. So you start to get the idea, the magnitude of what's getting ready to happen from the massive amount of cards that are going to be distributed in 2017 and the usage factor, because as most of you know, if you haven't heard, I'll share with you tonight, we are increasing our hotel base from 350, or no, actually it's a little over 300,000, I guess, officially. That's what we have right now. In January, it will go live, and we are increasing that base by 650,000 hotels. Imagine that. We're adding 650,000 more hotels and resorts for people to choose from. So you can imagine what's going to happen when that goes into effect, the first of the year. I mean, anybody's going to shop a hotel, if they've got a VIP club card, they're going to be using that and nothing else. So that gives you an idea of, again, how this thing works. So as this thing starts to grow and your organization goes from 2 to 4 to 8, and again, it's being filled not just by you, but you have, again, people above you, they're filling in people in, because you constantly get the spillover effect because of the fact that, remember, you can only have 2 people. After that, they all become IBO teams, which still take up places in your 2x20 social shared network. So going back and looking at that, you're making money, and this is important for everybody to understand, you're making money from not just the VIP club cards, but you're also making money from the memberships, because what's going to happen with most people after they've used up the card and they want to keep getting the savings, well, they've got to become a member. So now they convert to becoming a member. When they do that, now you're making money on the memberships. So, for example, on a platinum membership, which is $60 a month, there's $30 that goes into this commission program. So, again, guys, the 2x20 shared social network is going to be pretty powerful. But that's if it stood by itself, with you holding only, in this example, one position. So I'm going to go to the next slide. We're going to answer some questions here. But you guys all know that that's not the way it works here, because what we have are what we call the IBO teams. And what that means is, once you've signed up 2 people, like in this example right here, you see the first one right here, I'm kind of, highlighting. Then you go get your second one, right? Now you've qualified a 2x20 social network. And what's a 2x20 social network? Just to make sure everybody's got it. There's your 2x20. That's what you're entitled to earn on once you put in just 2 IBOs. So now, going back to this, let's talk about what happens next. You put in your 2, right? Number 1, number 2. After that, the next person that you put in, that you enroll, is going to become what's called what? A shared team. So that would be your third sign up, right? Because you put in your first personal, your second personal, your third sign up would become your first number 1 IBO team. Now, why is that important? Because the moment you put in another IBO team, what have you created? Another. Should I go back to that again? Let's go back to it. You've created another one of these. The moment you put in that third person you enroll, you've just actually activated the start of another 2x20 social network. So going back again, this is it right here, your third sign up, IBO Team 1. And what does it take to qualify that? The same as it took to qualify your original position, 2 people. So your person that you formed the IBO team with actually comes in and he puts in he puts in his person over here in the gray, and you put in your 4th sign up, which is your qualifier, because you each put in 1. So you come in over here, you put in your 4th position that you signed up is your qualifier. The person that you formed this team with comes over here in this gray spot right here, and he puts in his. Now that's a brand new 2x20 you're getting paid on. So now you're earning a check. If this position here is an IPO team number 1, and you're earning a check up here at you. Of course, it doesn't stop there because it continues. Now, one of the things we have done, and again, you're going to see this in all the new program and all the new stuff that comes out in January, all these outside teams, and a lot of you that are really building out there, I know I can't find my outside teams. What's happened with them? Where'd they go? Well, every person you've ever personally enrolled, when we do this changing over to the new platform, which is where all the IBO teams are inside your network, and of course we have a legacy tree to take care of the crossover effect. So now everybody goes back inside. So now all your IBO teams, I don't care if you set up 10, 20, or 50, they're all going to fall under the original position that you hold under this big circle here of you. So let's just kind of walk through this a little bit and see how this happens. So you signed up your 3rd person, you got your IBO team 1, you signed up your 4th person, that became the qualifier for that team. Now you're done there. Now you go sign up your 5th person. It comes over here, as you can see, it makes your IBO team 2. Now you put in your qualifier there, that's your 6th sign up. Now you've got that team qualified. Now it goes to what? The next team, which is right here, your 7th sign up, which is IBO team 3. 8th sign up is your IBO team qualifier. And then it just keeps on going. 9th sign up is your IBO team 4. Your 10th sign up is your IBO team qualifier. And guys, here's the important things to remember about all this. You don't have to understand a word of this. You don't even have to figure out how this happens. It's all automated. If you do nothing more than just enroll people, all this is done for you. It creates your IBO teams. It places your qualifiers for you. It creates your next IBO team, and everything is automated and placed automatically. So your job is pretty simple. It's just share the good news, share the good life. And obviously with the VIP club card, we're starting to see what's happening there. It makes it really easy to share the good life because now you've got a story that everybody wants to hear. And what I'm finding is that there are people right now that have got organizations growing like this that look like this page we're looking at. They don't even know it because they just got involved because of the VIP club card and they want to hand out club cards. They want to get out the cards because they want to make $100 on the VIP club card, and the rest of it is just automated. So think how cool this is. You don't ever have to understand it, but you're still going to get paid on it because as this thing builds, guess what happened here? In this example right here, you have literally got how many IBO teams? 4. Let's see, how many IBO teams do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we have to 4, right? Yeah, we got the 4 IBO teams. So what does that mean? That means, well, you got to check here at you. You got to check here at your first IBO team. You got to check coming in for your second IBO team. Your third IBO team, you got to check. Your fourth IBO team, you got to check. And that happens every month. And every one of those is a 2x20. So before I go any farther, questions?
There's one question, but I'm sure there's some people that are going to wonder why it's going 3, 7, 5, 9.
Okay, okay, that's a good question. All right. Remember, this is all automated, guys. It makes it very, very simple for you because here's what happens. It's what's called a balanced fill. So what happens is when you've set up that third IBO team right here, That's where it automatically places that person, and then it allows you to put the fourth one in, which your team qualifier. Now, you go put in your next person, it's going to look for the first open hole. The first open hole, your 2x20, and this example would be over here. And it's always balanced. So it would go from the third, it would come over here to this side and fill this one. And then it would put that qualifier. And then it's going to come back over here to fill the next one. So it's a balanced fill going left to right, back and forth, on a balanced basis. But again, who cares? It's automated. It's done for you. And it just makes it fair for you and for everybody else that's underneath of you, because this thing's always balancing itself and always filling. I don't care if you're down 20 pay lines where you got 1 million people, it's still balancing the fill on that 20th pay line. And so, again, it just makes it fun and easy. And all you have to do is count your multiple pay positions. Every IBO team qualified, multiple pay position.
All right. We've got a question from John. Can I earn on my shared positions that I've qualified, but the person on the team with me has not qualified in that IBO team?
Yes, you can. And actually what happens, so everybody gets on these IBO teams, and again, this is all automated. You don't have to think about it. What happens is when that IBO team is formed, okay, the first $250 that's earned in that team is split 50-50 between you and the guy that's in there with you. But let's say, for example, he doesn't do anything, and you go out and you build, you qualify your guy, and he takes off and it's building stuff. Guess what? He didn't do anything. You get all the money. Now, let's say, for example, he is building. But let's say you're the big builder. You're 80% of all the volume is coming from your side. Only 20% is coming from his side. So what would be fair? I would think if you're doing 80% of the work, you should get 80% of the check. And that's what happens. So the guy that's only doing 20% of the work gets 20% of the check. So again, it's still based on he who works is rewarded. But there's, of course, a little benefit there because you kind of carry the guy at first because you do split that first $250, but why not? Because that's the whole idea of lifting people up, helping them become successful. You want everybody that you ever get involved in this business to never leave and want to be here for life. And I think when people start seeing how this compensation plan works, which is so different than anything else in the industry out there, and again, I always say this because that's one of the great things of being around for 45 years. I have seen it all. I've seen all the compensation plans and written a lot of them. So I know all these flaws and all these problems that exist. And that's why when I look at this compensation plan with the IBO team, and then, of course, when we're getting ready to talk about the legacy tree, guys, you've got something that no one has ever seen before. And then you take the VIP club card on top of that. And as I said to somebody the other day, I don't know how it could get any better. I really don't. So, all right, any more questions on this before we go to the next part?
That's it on that one.
Okay, good. And again, this is being recorded, so it'll be available to everybody so you can take a look at it. Now, let's look at this, the legacy tree. I'm not sure anybody really figured this thing out yet because here's the reality. We've got 2,000 IBOs, and we've probably got about 200 to 300 that have qualified for the legacy tree. If those 2,000 people really understood what this legacy tree meant to them, they would already be qualified in the tree. So it's obvious that we haven't done a very good job of letting people know what's happening, because I see people coming in that have only been in the business for a couple of days now that are coming in because we've been talking about the legacy tree. They're qualifying. And remember, they're going in before a lot of you are on this call tonight. And they're going in way above you. Now, you might say, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll make it up later. No. You don't ever get to make it up, because here's what happens. This is a one-world genealogy. This is so important for you guys to get tonight. When you're looking at this, remember, the only way you enter this legacy tree is based on a timeline. And it's based on when you qualify to go in the tree. So even though you're an IBO and you can make all the money in the world from the VIP club cards, you can make all the money from all the member sales that you create, you can make all the money you want from CV and the IBO teams, you can have all the multiple pay positions, everything else, that's all great. But this we set aside as something special. The legacy tree was designed to really reward those people that have come early to the business. And they should have, to me, because it's like anything, when you're the pioneer, you deserve the biggest reward because you take the biggest risk. And so that's kind of why we created this legacy tree. So even though the next 2 or 3 years it won't make that big a difference, in basis of 10 or 20 years, it still makes a big difference in what you make. So let's take a look at this to make sure everybody understands. In this example right here, now remember, Jim, we showed him at the top of this legacy tree. All right. But it's not based on the fact that Jim was in the business after you or before you. It's based on when he actually qualified. What's it take to qualify? you've got to either have your 20 customers, and you got to be a platinum, and then you have to have 2 people that have done the same thing. You have your 20 customers, or they're gold or platinum. So if you do those 2 things, you're gold or platinum yourself, and you have 2 that are gold or platinum, or you do the 20 customer rule, then you all qualify to be in the legacy tree. Now, the moment that happens, it's time stamped, and Jim goes in. And then the next person that came in here you saw was Alex, getting time stamped. That person could right now, Alex could be 20 pay lines down in your organization, but go in before everybody else just because he met that qualification before the people that are above him. Same thing with Jane. She goes in next. Now, remember, look at the way this fills. Again, it's that balanced fill. Number 4 is Bob. Number 5 over here is Tom, because balanced filling. Number 6 is Pam. Number 7 is Amy. And it does the same thing, keeps doing the same thing, a balanced fill, balanced fill. Now, guys, you got to put this in perspective. Once you're in this legacy tree, and as long as you stay qualified, you never leave it. Now, think about what's going to happen here in the United States right now, just in this next year. I mean, I really think, based on some of the stuff we're seeing, the demographics, I mean, the growth and everything else. Matter of fact, I was talking to John today. We're looking at the amount of, what do you call it, website activity? What is that, John?
Web activity.
Okay.
And thank you, Wendell, for turning this on.
Yeah, that's true. Who turned this on? Was that Wendell?
Wendell.
Wendell, you've been getting a lot of kudos. Like I say, I got to mention Wendell's name. But Wendell's pretty cool because I didn't even know this, but it actually shows the amount of activity your website has over all your competition. And guess what? Guess who's number 1 by far over all the other travel companies that are out there right now, including one that's been around forever and doing hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, which is World Ventures. Guess who has more activity? We do, guys. So what does that tell you? Something's going on out there. There's a buzz out there and excitement because we went from a situation where we weren't even on the charts anywhere as far as activity and on our website to we're now number 1, of all travel companies. Number 1 already. And it's getting bigger and better every day against all the competition of companies out there. So it's getting pretty exciting. And again, we haven't started. We haven't even started. I'm thinking, how can this be happening? And it's because of what's going on with the VIP Club card, guys. We all know it's creating the excitement. Everybody wants to see what is going on here. What are they doing? But look at this legacy tree. I got to get into this. I got to finish this before I get into the VIP Club card, because this is so critical to everybody. Once you're in for life, right? Because you're qualified. Now, that means that if we put in 300,000 people here in the United States, guess what? They're all falling underneath of you. The moment we open the next country, because remember, this is a one world genealogy in this legacy tree, the moment we open the next country, they start to fall underneath of you. And then the next country. And the most important thing you have to realize about this legacy tree, it has nothing to do with the size of your organization. This is a crossover tree. This is the reason I created this, is because we realized I couldn't make the outside teams work because it was too complicated. People were confused. It didn't make sense. I'm thinking, well, you know what? It doesn't matter how great I think it is. If people don't understand it, it's not going to work. So that's how I created this legacy tree. I went back and said, how can I create the same effect where you get this crossover? Which means you could have a group of 200 people. That's all you have in your total organization. There could be somebody next to you that has 5,000. But guess what? You could be above them in the legacy tree. And not only that, but those 5,000 the other guy has, which is outside your organization, because of the legacy tree, they can fall into your organization and get paid on it. So again, what this creates is the attrition buster effect. Who would ever want to leave this? And it creates this thing of, hey, I got in, I worked, I'm early, I'm first, and I get rewarded. And I get rewarded for a lifetime. One world genealogy. This thing doesn't stop. It just continues to grow and grow and grow. I don't care. Every country we go to, the next country has to fall somewhere in this legacy tree. So if those spots are filled, those spots are filled. And it just continues to grow. So that's the legacy tree. And I want to show you, I think, does this next one show any more on the legacy tree or not? No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. So any questions on that before we leave it?
Excitement, not questions.
Okay. Pretty simple, actually.
People are excited.
I mean, guys, the legacy tree is just two by to infinity.
We do have one.
Okay.
From Jen, can you elaborate on the 20 customers for us newbies? Is that related to the VIP cards?
Yeah, it's anybody that becomes a customer. When we say a customer, it's a customer member. not the VIP club cards.
I think she means like when you were mentioning having 20 customers instead of being.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, the customers have to come from being an actual member, a customer member. Somebody that's actually at least takes the silver level, which is $11.95 a month. That's not from the card. The card is just strictly money. So you get your 20 customers. But here's the thing. If you got out a lot of VIP club cards, you're going to convert. My guess is you're going to convert 10 to 20% that you get the cards in the hands of. They're going to convert to becoming IBOs. And that's the beauty of this. I mean, this is unlike anything I've ever seen before, because most people, when they go out to try to look for people to get them in the business, they can't find them. Here, everybody you talk to wants to talk to you because you're giving them money. And then afterwards, they go, wow, if I could do that, I can do this. This is simple. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Not only just the money is going to generate everybody, but as a tool to convert people from being skeptics to say, I'm using the card, to saying, I'm going to become a member, to saying, I want to be an IBO member. And that's exactly what we're seeing occur, which is, again, phenomenal. Yeah, I got to share something here too. Well, I'll come back to this in a second. I want to show you guys something that's also happened on the legacy tree. And by the way, a legacy tree is funded, because nobody asked this, but it's not really there, but it's funded from all the CV that's generated from the VIP club cards and generated from the memberships. 25% of all the CV goes into the legacy tree. Now, you got to put this in perspective too, guys. The legacy tree is always going to be much smaller than the IBO team tree. So think about this. You literally could make more out of the legacy tree than you can make out of your team tree just because you're in here, because, again, it's always going to be the smaller number. I mean, if we've got 100,000, say, in the IBO team tree, my guess will only be about 20,000 or 25,000 in the legacy tree. So what does that mean? That means there's all this money pushed from those people that aren't in the legacy tree into this legacy tree. If you're in it, you get paid on it. And again, it's coming from people outside your organization. It's coming from sales outside your organization, comes in this legacy tree. And to top it all off, because this is important for everybody to know, the top 15 positions in the legacy tree, which is, if you were looking at this, let's say this really was the start of the legacy tree. Jim was number one, okay? Those top 15 positions, which is, 1 and the 2, then the 4, then the 8, okay, are blocked every month. Now, what does that mean? That means that if there's 1 million people in the legacy tree, the top 15 are blocked. And every month, we take the top producers from the 1 million other people, and we award for 1 month a position in the legacy tree. So can you imagine, a guy comes down the road, 6 months from now, a year from now, hey, well, I'm way down the legacy tree, but guess what? He's a producer, he's a builder, and he's out there making things happen. So he qualifies for one of these top 15 spots for a month. Can you imagine what his check's going to be like? On literally hundreds of thousands or maybe millions, and we're talking about millions of VIP club card users. I mean, it's going to be wild what's going to happen in those top 15 spots. And again, that'll happen, but everybody has the opportunity. So no matter where you come in at, if you came in 5 years from now and you're in the country, the Philippines, or you're in Germany or wherever you're from, you can still qualify in one of these top 15 spots. So that's the legacy tree. And I want to show you something else happening with the legacy tree too. Makes it even more exciting, and we'll come back to it as we wrap things up. Okay, VIP club card. I think everybody kind of understands how it works now. Pretty simple, pretty cool. It is what I call the non-networking component of our business, and it's the thing that's creating all excitement, because there's nobody that doesn't want to have free money. And when you give somebody a $200, basically it's a gift card that they can go use up, and they go and check it and they find out, wow, there's really savings. And I got to tell you, I've given this card to close family members. I don't know about you, but my family is always, and again, they know me. They know what successes I've had in my life. But it doesn't matter. They're skeptics. Oh, what is this deal? What are you getting off of me? I'm not getting anything. Well, I'm going to get something off of you, but you're going to get a lot more off of me, because guess what? It's going to save you money. And so when you find family members looking at this card and going, well, shoot, it's saving me money, I'll use it. Even if they don't like you, they're going to use it because it saves them money. Now, all of a sudden, this starts to happen, right? So in this example, we're showing what happens when somebody would go out, use up one of the cards, use the entire $200 in savings on the card. This is the money that's paid back to the people that handed it out. So if you were the guy that handed out the card, of course, you make $100. That's the first year bonus. The person that signed you up, the person that actually signed you up as an IBO, would probably be the one making the $25. Or it could be, for example, let's say you went and signed up a business, and a business has 5,000 customers as an example. So this business has 5,000 customers, and that business guy, he signs up as an IBO, so he makes $100. Now you get $25 when that card's used up on those 5,000. I don't know what that number is, but I think it's a pretty good number. Yeah, it's a nice number. And these numbers, I mean, some of the stuff that's happening right now, even I look at it and go, I don't believe this. I don't believe what's getting ready to happen. And then the third component of this with the VIP club card is probably really as excited as everybody gets about the $100 and the 25. This is the part that excites me the most, because this is what's going to generate unbelievable checks for everybody in the coming years. I mean, think about when just 100,000 cards are out there to get used up. If you had somebody, remember I used that example earlier? If you had somebody that took this card, and again, it's somebody in their 20th pay line, and they used it, they set up one business that used up 100,000 cards, it would pay you individually now, I don't care where you're at in the 20 pay lines, it would pay you over $100,000. Now, what would happen if you have some of these businesses we're talking to, they're talking about buying 1 million cards, and all of a sudden they get 200,000 and 300,000 cards being used up? Can you imagine? And that's one IBO with one business prospect or, a contract. What happens when you have tens of thousands of IBOs in your organization? We're just talking down the road here about a year, guys. I have a little bit of a vision here. You've got 10,000 IBOs in your organization, and of course they've got customers from everywhere because this is the greatest customer program in the world. And you've got people who are signing up businesses left and right, and all of a sudden you literally have not just hundreds of thousands of cards going through your organization, maybe 1 million cards feeding up through your organization. Now, I would have said when we first started this, well, that's not going to happen. But then again, if you'd told me on just 2,000 IBOs we'd have 400,000 cards being distributed, I would have said, ain't no way, that's not happening. And it's getting crazier because of some of the companies that are coming after us that want to do this on a big scale. So please, you got to realize that $25 in CV that goes into your IBO team training list is an amazing amount of money that's going to generate in commissions to everybody as this thing kicks in. And guys, what's beautiful about this is once that pipeline's built, it just continues to grow and grow and grow. But here's the last part to what we've done now. And this is the part that some of you heard about, some of you haven't, but this is really exciting. Remember we had those things called dream dollars. We really couldn't figure out what to do with them. We couldn't really make them work. We were trying to figure what can we do, because it just didn't work because we're really providing everything, all of our travel and everything at true cost, and we wanted it to be real. So we finally figured out, we've got a platform with just the hotels that can do this. So we give true cost on everything else. Everything else is true cost. But look what we're going to be able to do here. When a person becomes a member, what we're going to do is increase their savings in the hotels by another 50%. So here's what's going to happen. Look at this. This is member price. A person goes from using the VIP club card to becoming a member. Now what will happen when they go out and they use that, let's say, for example, the internet rate on something they're booking is $500, the same example as before, their savings is going to be $300. Okay? So look at the difference that happens here. Since they're now saving $300, their cost is only $200, right? So that's better. But I've gone from, if I'm a customer, I've gone from paying $300, to now I'm paying $200. So I'm getting, instead of a $200 saving, a $300 saving. But look what we're doing here. We're creating something called Dream Destination Dollars. We've given the person that went from VIP club card to member an additional 50% in savings. But there's still some money left over. So what are we going to do with that money? Let's pay it to you guys. Let's pay it in the form of what we call a Dream Destination Dollar, which is a real dollar now, dollar for dollar. And when I say a real dollar, I mean if you earn 50 Dream Destination Dollars, you can take those 50 Dream Destination Dollars and you can use it for a car rental. You can use it for a cruise. You can use it for part of an airline ticket. I don't care if you've got 2,000 Dream Destination Dollars and your airline ticket is 2,000, you can use it all, 100%. Now, no limitations, nothing, 100%. Now, here's what's really crazy about this, how this is going to work. All these people, there's millions of people are going to be getting these VIP club cards after the first of the year. are going to start converting over to being members, even if they're at $11.95. They don't want to be in the business. I can't imagine not wanting to be in this business. But let's say they just couldn't quite get the vision, okay, for some reason, and they just want to be a member. And that's great. So now all of a sudden, you're making this money every time that they go out and save, like they did with the VIP Club card. Look at the money you're getting. If you're the person that handed them that card originally, okay, you're making $50. If you're the one that handed it to somebody else that handed it to somebody else, you're making $12.50. But here's the crazy part. We're going to take another $12.50, okay, and put it into the legacy tree. Now, I ran some numbers on this, guys, and it is insane. If you just had, again, let's use that same old example I did before about you had somebody on your 20th pay line, okay, in your legacy tree, and that position, because of that IBO, has a business that put out it's got 100,000 members now that converted. Maybe he put out 1 million cards, and now they converted to 100,000 members, and now that generates money. And guess what happens? It generates a lot of money. So it would actually generate to you. Every card then would generate about 62 cents to you in the legacy tree in dream destination dollars. So what would that mean? On 100,000 cards, same stories we did before, you just made 62,000 dream destination dollars from one person way down there that had, and again, I start running these numbers and you got to just quit. You just have to actually quit, because these dream destination dollars are going to build and build and build. Now, the only problem that I see happening, I'm a little concerned about it, is that most of you will have to take 4 to 5 vacations a year and you're going to get exhausted. So I don't know what they're going to do, because 4 or 5 vacations a year is a lot. So what we looked at, we said, well, look, somebody starts building up these dream destinations, they have maybe 10 or 20 or 30,000 in dream destinations. They can't take that many trips. They can't spend that much travel in the world. You get tired. You go, enough. I'm living the good life. I got to slow down. So what we decided was, okay, but what happens if somebody's just getting too many of them? We're going to allow you to cash those out. You can cash them out anytime you want. It's 75 cents on the dollar. So if you've got 10,000 dream destination dollars and you don't want to take a trip because you've taken too many, you got 10,000 sitting there, we'll give you $7,500 cash for them and wipe them out anytime you want. Then you start building again. So this is what we've added. This does not go into effect, by the way. I'm going to make this real clear. First quarter of 2017 on these dream destination dollars. First quarter of 2000. I'm not committing to when that's going to happen. First quarter of 2017, because obviously we got a lot of program, a lot of stuff we're getting done, and so that will take care of the new dream destination dollars. And just to answer, a lot of people are going to say, what about my old dollars? Some of the people have old dollars. Well, they're not building anymore, but what we're going to do is we're going to sit and put together at least 4 corporate dream destinations a year, 4 of them a year, that people can go to, and then on those, they can use up to 30% of their dream dollars, and then after that, they can use their dream destination dollar for the balance, but they can use them up at that rate until they're all gone. So we're going to be setting that up so you can get rid of the old ones, and they're called dream dollars, but the new ones are called dream destination dollars. Questions, John?
There's no questions. There's just people losing their minds with excitement and ready to go travel.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like me. I look at these stuff all the time and I go, oh man, this is just too good. So guys, you got the VIP Club card. Now you got Dream Destination dollars. You got your IBO team tree, Quick Pay tree, your legacy tree. I don't know. Sounds pretty good.
We got our whole backyard full of money trees.
We got money trees. We do. So that's really, those are the things that I wanted to cover tonight. It's pretty simple. We've covered the legacy tree. We've covered the team tree, how that works. We've covered the 2x20, how that grows, how you get paid there. We've Quick Pay tree. We've covered that in detail. And that takes us back to the good life. And guys, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. Couple announcements. Thursday night, I'm doing strictly a leaders call only. You will get an email if you're invited to this call. The reason for this call is to talk about some of the things that are getting ready to happen and some of the things we want to do, for example, like we're doing with the old Dream Dollars and creating the new ones, those type of things. I want to have a conversation with leaders, get some feedback from them on a lot of these things we're going to be doing, because we want to go into the new year with our platform in place, everything's solid, ready to explode. I don't think there's going to be anything that can keep us from being the fastest growing company in the nation next year. I just don't see how it's possible at this point. So that's going to be on Thursday night. Also, we're going to start announcing all the meetings coming up for next year. We just committed to one in Tampa on January 10th. We'll get all the information on that. We will be doing a meeting in Atlanta on January also. I'm not sure the date yet. We'll firm that one up. We've got requests to do meetings in San Diego, New York, back in Charlotte. Where else? Virginia Beach. I know they've been requested to come back. So we're going to start organizing all the places we're going to be during the months of January and February. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodnight. Because this is a wrap. So thank you guys for being here. And again, Thursday night, if you just want to go in, we're going to redo the call from last Thursday, the webinar. You can watch that. If you got meetings scheduled, so people can go watch that presentation again. There'll be a special separate call with the leaders also at the same time. That being said, good night, everybody. Appreciate it.